Good, good.
I am sitting in my
So,
car.
uh,
This is my ship
yeah,
for now.
yeah. Uh,
How are you doing?
Valentine,
Thank you, you too.
what's that?
Happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you.
I don't know if should we try speakers? Because I'm wearing my headset today and I just want to see what the quality is like, if it's any better.
Okay. You know how I was kind of cutting out
Do you think it was
intermittently.
the
Uh,
earphones?
Before I was thinking, yeah, I was thinking it was the headphones. So I'm good right now, right?
Yeah, okay, so we'll
Coming
see.
through.
I'll try these and see what it's like, and then we'll just keep trying.
Well, let me test it.
Hey?
Let me test it. And if I start cutting out, we'll know that it's these.
Okay.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yep.
Okay, cool.
Um,
So,
oh, wait.
oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It just took a moment, but okay.
Okay. So, I've got like about half an hour battery life. I was sitting inside Starbucks hoping to have enough quiet and sit in the coffee shop and talk, but it wasn't quiet. So I'm sitting here. So we'll chat for about
Oh,
30
okay.
minutes if you've got that time. Have you got it?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So, um, I don't know if you're happy to kind of just go in the direction of just what I was just quite interested in asking you about the contacts that you've had actually, the various kind of
Oh,
contacts
okay.
with ET beings and how you would describe that. I don't know if you feel like sharing.
Oh, yeah, yeah. No, no problem. Yeah. So um, uh, actually, I think I'll start off just by saying that it's been really exciting in the last 3 months or so. Let's see, since October. So that's November, December, January. Yeah, so almost 4 months now. I've actually been having pretty much constitutive or periodic contact
Wow.
experiences. Not uh, um, direct contact with the beings themselves, uh, but uh, contact with the light ships. And this is actually the thing is that the beings that I've been interacting with more recently, I'm not sure if there's any difference. Uh, I think that they might just be light beings.
Wow.
Uh, and and so the ships that I'm seeing, I don't call them UFOs or spaceships. I call them light ships. But I have the inclination that they're actually light beings themselves for a number of reasons. Um, so, um, you know, I'd had sightings periodically, and within 2012, it started to really escalate. In 2012, it began kind of this interaction where there's a direct telepathic connection with the, I'll just call them ships for now, because they are aerial mobile lights. But so there was a couple times over the summer where there was what you could think of as teleportation. But it's really, obviously more just a frequency shift to a higher dimension. And so, like, each time, in these cases, it was physical ships that I was looking at. So, for instance, one night, this is very interesting because it happened after watching the movie Prometheus.
Wow, I love that.
Are you familiar with this movie?
Yes.
Yeah, now it's probably, wouldn't be the best thing to divulge because you'd be like, oh, you were just all hyped up on the alien thing, and then but it really, it's one of that's what is taught. But anyways, after watching the movie, I think that this is the reason why. It's after watching the movie, I was in a deep contemplative state about reaching out and connecting with those beings, the extraterrestrial beings, that is. And it was just like this. My entire being was focused in that. I was broadcasting out.
Wow.
And while I was doing that, I was staring up at these crystal clear skies with the stars. Crystal clear stars. It's actually in the Dark Sky City, which it has various astronomical observatories, and Pluto was discovered in this town I was in, the planet Pluto.
Wow.
But anyways, I was looking up, and I see this small white light, almost like a satellite, going overhead. And in this particular area, it's a vortex. It's one of the largest vortex areas on the planet.
Wow, where's that?
Sedona,
oh, okay.
Arizona.
Is that where you were born?
Yeah. So,
no coincidence there.
Yeah. So, I mean, the place is so sacred that the Native Americans, they wouldn't even live there. They would only go there to give birth.
Wow.
It's a lot like, actually, Hawaii, where I'm at now, which is one of the second largest vortexes on Earth.
Wow.
The humpback whales, they travel from Alaska, something like 3,500 miles, I think it is. They travel here just to give birth.
Wow.
And to mate as well. But, they don't live here. Just because living in a vortex area is difficult. There's significant energetics that affect the body. But so anyways, I was used to seeing this because on any given night, if you look up, you'll see what appears, it looks like a satellite. The only thing is that as soon as it gets directly overhead, so it's over the vortex, it disappears. It blinks out. Now, satellites don't do that. You can see, like every now and then a satellite will go overhead, and it'll be out to the side, and you'll watch it go all the way down past the horizon. But in this particular instance, so I'm like broadcasting out, not really intentionally. It's just that's where my mind was. That's where my heart was. I was contemplating this. And I see the ship going overhead, and it flashes me, and I'm like, well, and then it kicks on like this warp drive type thing, and it goes and disappears.
Wow.
Yeah, It was really phenomenal. It was basically a reply like, "Oh, we're here.
Wow.
Well, we see." But actually, so that night I had the understanding before going to bed that there was going to be direct contact, and it was. But so it's something that we were talking about that the body can undergo uh, the fear of death. The ego can undergo fear of death in those types of teleportations or frequency
Right.
shifts. So when there's direct intervention to facilitate that, uh, it it's really the easiest way to do it is when the person is doing it naturally. So when we go to sleep, we have a frequency shift, and we go to higher dimensional levels of reality, such as like the template level of reality, where we actually play around with the morphogenetic field. We are in that domain, and we play out scenarios. Of course, dreams are many things, but so it's very easy to shift
So
us
what
up.
frequency do you think
Uh,
that template reality is at?
oh well, I think that it's really more the it's unified, so to speak. Uh, that there is almost like layers, and one of those layers is a template level reality. Now, I think that these beings actually, um, depending on the physicality, they exist actually kind of above the template level of reality. Um, it's but then there are also ones that you could think of as being just slightly below it. So
So I mean, in the
their
light
experience of
spectrum, would they not be like a visible light, X-ray, gamma ray type frequency? No,
no, just way
beyond
beyond
that.
that. So that spectrum that we can detect is actually all very physical wavelengths of the electromagnetic spectrum. Now it goes way beyond that. So really, um, in terms of um, what kind of frequency they've been operating at, is a way higher frequency than even gamma rays.
Wow.
Now this is also indicating the scale at which things are occurring at. So gamma rays correspond to nuclei of atoms. That's about the wavelength or the period of the oscillation of those waves, that radiation. Uh, well, so for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Well, so as you get further down, the further down you go, so like saying the cellular level, the molecular level, the atomic level, the nuclear level, and so on, you have equal expansion in consciousness.
Hmm.
So when you're up, say at a gamma frequency, which corresponds to the nuclei, that is a galactic consciousness. That is kind of the
That frequency
equivalent
send a signal
scale
around everywhere.
everywhere. And then so you go way, way down to kind of the threshold level of this dimensional scale. You have the Planck distance. and this is very important. The Planck scale. It's 10 to the negative 33 um, centimeters in distance. So to give you an idea of that kind of scale, you have the proton, which is 10 to the negative 13 centimeters in diameter. Now, the proton compared to the universe, it goes from 10 to the negative 13 uh, centimeters to 10 to the 30th centimeters in scale. And that's about the length of the visible universe. So now, so 10 to the 13th, so you got 10 to the 30th. Is that? Yeah, yeah. And then on the other side of the scale, you go down to 10 to the negative 33. So you see, it's like a
Wow.
equi. Yeah,
It's
so
a tiny
basically a
hallway.
proton. So the proton, what the proton is to the universe, the Planck scale, the Planck unit is to the proton. So there's literally an entire universe inside of the proton. So now then, when you get down to the Planck unit, that is the kind of maximum vibratory frequency. When you get down there, the consciousness is expanded out to the entire universe. So that's a universal consciousness. It would be kind of the consciousness of all that is. Now, the thing that I'm getting at is that reality, fit what we think of as physical stuff, actually emanatizes out of that Planck scale. It's like a sea of potentiality, and that's where all physical processes emanatize out of. So that's why when you get down smaller and smaller, closer to that, you are in the template level of reality because you're in the actual frequency from which physical processes are construed and manifested.
And then
Um,
there would be a frequency below that, right? Because there's just energy flowing into the template. Just so there'd be
yeah, yeah. So, you know, it's infinite um, kind of, you know, it just goes on forever. But, you know, why it's pertinent is that it almost forms like a surface horizon so that, you know, you can think about a circle that it has infinite divisions within that membrane, that surface horizon. But that surface horizon is important because it is like a ordering membrane. It compartmentalizes it and gives it distinction and almost like a texture, if you will. Now that circle can be a part of a larger one that has just been infinitely divided. That's the flower of life pattern. You know, that's the flower of life pattern is very indicative of the infinite uh, pixelation and template of physical reality. It's built from surface horizons. Uh, It's everything. So that's the fractal structure. It's a holographic fractal structure. So like, our integument system, the skin, is our surface horizon, our surface membrane. And this is where all the exchange of information occurs. This is where we receive and exchange information. Although we think it's mostly through this thing. But then you go one step and you have the organs, which are encased in a membrane, the connective tissue of the extracellular matrix. Go one step down, you have the cells with the membrane, and it just goes on and on, proton, etc., and it goes out as well. But so, anyways,
So
um,
when you have a teleportation or whatever into a ship, they have to somehow break that membrane of that patterning, right?
yeah, absolutely. Although, you know, with the way that they do things, it's not so much, breaking. It's more of a easing you to sit where you do it naturally. Now, there are other beings, like the Greys, who it is more like a forceful, although, they're largely in this physical dimension as well, so it's more like a forceful sedation. But anyways, uh, so, my perception of it was that you could think of it like we're kind of in a third density level. Um, Now then, if you go down two density uh, levels, um, you're kind of at the root base level of this dimensional reality. Now then, if you the beings that I was interacting with are at the fifth density level. Um, that's the substance of that density level is space. It's the vacuum. It's ether. Um, so it's very much like the dream state, the template level of reality.
So are
Um,
these beings that uh um are they ascended beings, or are they way different than that? Are they um I mean, is that have they had an incarnation somewhere, physical incarnation, and then ascended, into that fifth dimension or density, or have they
uh,
not had an incarnation like that?
you could think of it in that way. Uh, it's just that they would never explain it in that kind of from that kind of perspective. Um, it, for one thing, they're very keen on the idea that everything is happening right here and now, uh, and everything is interconnected as one. And so it's more the perspective that almost like reality is a multifaceted, multidimensional crystal, and they're just one facet of that crystal, and we're another facet. But you don't have the entire crystal if one of those facets are missing. So, given that they are a different facet, they have a different experience and a different perspective. Uh, and it may seem to us like they're more advanced or better than us. But reality wouldn't exist without us just as much as it wouldn't exist without them. In fact, they wouldn't exist without us. So, it's a bit like, um, uh, you know, if we were to go back and visit our ancestors, uh, we may have this inclination that we are the advanced beings going to visit these primitive beings. We have the advanced technologies. We can travel through time. We understand the fundamental mechanisms of how the universe functions. Um, but what would we be without our ancestors? And in fact, the reason we're at that level at all is because of our ancestors. Um,
So would they consider themselves our ancestors, our ancient ancestors? Not.
our predecessors,
Say again?
our predecessors, our predecessors. Wait, our descendants.
Okay. So they're our future.
Uh, uh, in kind of
I mean, it's very
a
linear. I understand it's very linear.
yeah, but that does have truth. That because that is the experience of it. So that's why though. Yes, they have had incarnations on this physical reality. One of us could be their physical incarnation.
Mm.
Uh,
Yes,
but
yes, yes. Like who are you talking about exactly? Give an example.
oh, well, you mean an example of
Yeah, like
somebody here?
who who on earth is one of their incarnations?
Well, there's many people,
Okay.
many individuals. Yeah, yeah. Not everybody, um, because they have incarnations on other systems, other dimensional planes. It's just the level of what we're looking at. So like you are an infinite, eternal spirit being, and so uh, just depending on what perspective you want to take, you are an ascended master, you're an extraterrestrial, an alien, an interterrestrial, an interdimensional, everything, all
Right.
that,
Yeah.
So
It's
it's
pretty mind-blowing.
yeah, and I think that
William, I
uh,
just want to tell you I've got about 1 more minute left on the battery, and then we're going to have to just I'll go inside and plug in, and we'll have to manage the noise a little bit. Um, but maybe we can just sort of like find a way to pause, so that we don't get cut out. Because it's a
okay,
nice conversation,
well,
and I'm not sure how long you've got or how noisy it'll be in the coffee shop, but it would be nice to continue for a little bit. So.
okay,
Should
yeah.
we,
Uh,
what should we do? Should we keep going or shall I walk with the computer in my hand and find a place to sit? I don't know. Or what should we do?
well, mm, um, hmm. I'm thinking, just because I'm gonna be filming the second lecture
Okay.
to the university course, so it could be a good
Time.
point to pause.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Well, let's
Um.
pause there because it's just about 30 minutes, and I mean it's really exciting information, and it's like the beginning, of a whole. I don't know. You should just be teaching 24 hours a day, really, because it's exciting, you
It's
know.
uh, it's really it's what I'm passionate about doing. So it's actually today I kind of will be doing 24 hours
It's really
with
exciting.
this. So this second lecture I'm going to film is on the exobiology, the human genome. We'll be talking about the engineered genetic elements of the human biology.
Beautiful.
Uh, yeah, it's gonna be an exciting
That sounds gorgeous. That
lecture.
sounds great. Well, let's
Yeah.
let's pick it up again with more on the ETs and more on our dimensional selves and all of that sort of stuff and the contacts that you've had, and we can share. I've had a little bit of that as well. So we'll make another time and share the next piece.
Okay, excellent. And yeah. Even tomorrow, if you wanted, we could delve right back
Yeah,
into
that would
it.
be great. Let's make some
Uh,
time tomorrow. What?
okay. Yeah, it's just, um, I was planning on filming last night, so, it's just, I just never know how things are gonna play
That's
out.
fine. I'm
And
I'm
so I
happy
kind of got to play.
to just be spontaneous and in the moment with you, and that seems to be how the best way to go, for everyone. So let's just see how it goes and how you will. I'll stay in touch and look out for your emails, and somehow we'll find a good time. But there's
Excellent,
also,
excellent. All
I
right.
wanted to say, William, is that there's so many people here. That's why it would be nice to share for us to eventually get together because there's so much information here for us to share with you as well. You know what I mean? It's like there's a massive amount of information that it would be just nice to be together, you know what I mean? Just hang out and for many people that are interested in this to just share. So,
One of the reasons that I am so passionate about teaching is uh, when you set up that frequency, you get so much. It just opens up this exchange of information, and it propels everybody.
I know it's really
Yeah. So
exciting.
that'd be fantastic.
All right, well, have a
Okay.
lovely Valentine's Day and lots of love to everyone there, all the beings as well, the dolphins and and the light ships and all of our other selves. And we'll
All
we'll
right.
we'll check in tomorrow, most likely.
Excellent, excellent. So a
Thank
pleasure
you. You
talking with
too.
you.
We'll see you soon.
All right.
Bye.
Aloha.
Bye.
Bye.